Okay, we're broadcasting. All right, we're broadcasting again. And we want to say,
to save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3.
I think that the way it's going to work in North America, I think American people are very
to save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re-record this message, press 3. To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. To re- sound when finished.
All right, we're re-recording our message again, and we're on our broadcast, and I'm here, and it's me and the Mother, Father, Goddess, God who are here. You're not here, my family community. You continue to ignore these opportunities. I love you. I'm telling you right now that I cannot outpace your negation. You are likely to start experiencing curses. Women who know what I am doing in our family and yet continue to ignore it are likely to experience severe feedback. Young people who know what I am doing and continue to not take my good counsel and at least try to help your mothers gather are also likely to experience some negative feedback. My plan is to just keep doing what I'm doing. Since you do not respond to proactive education, it is my prayer to the Mother, Father, Goddess, God that you will respond reasonably well to a small bit of negative feedback that you are likely to get. Now, a small bit of negative feedback in the hands of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God can be more than just small. It can be something rather major. If that occurs, remember to say parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future. Call me. We'll do a 3-way call, and we'll turn it into a conference call and make the circles with women and our younger people, females and males, very quickly. As soon as we do that, everyone will shift from curses back to blessings. I believe that I have done what I can do as far as I can think of, except for a few things which I really don't have time to do by Labor Day. And why is that important? Well, we're talking about labors of love here. We're talking about the labors of love. Our society does not reward the labors of love. It rewards the labors of money. Our society puts the labors of males in a loving way over those of females. It's been doing that for some thousands of years. We're past the tipping point environmentally. Lots of things are going to give this week. You can expect it, because we're talking about counting the labors of love, including the counting of the labor of love called democracy, which none of you have been counting, and you've all been allowing deception to rule you. You've all been warned about television and tokenism, yet you are likely, almost all of you, continuing to think that you're going to go and vote in November, and you're going to pay attention to what the polls say, or what the television says, etc., and refuse to regard yourself as the ELLECT, and take the steps of the positive steps, the new millennial golden rule of the kitties kids. So I clearly, my words are not welcomed by you. If they are, you make a good show of not welcoming them. I don't think I have any special leverage with you. I love you, and God loves us all more than we could possibly know. But I've reached the point where I can tell you, I have tasks to do on your behalf. I'm trying to get them done as quickly as possible, but there are many, because I have virtually no help in this culture, because everybody is in a state of deception to at least some degree. And therefore, I don't think I will necessarily get them all completed by tomorrow or the next day. And I believe that there's a strong likelihood that some of the young people in our family will have a very serious reaction tomorrow, and some of the women also may be very close. Some of the older women may be very close to death. When that happens, the world will flip into the end times. But I believe that at the beginning of the end times, we may have a moment to pull out of it. You know what this is. This is very simply parity and not patriarchy instead of parity. And it is the confusion that tokenism is progress. Tokenism at this stage is not progress. Tokenism at this stage is deliberate deception, delay, and regression. It is devolution. It is the turning of the female into the male without any holding of accountability to the male. That's all it is. So let's do our ceremony very quickly here. I'll do it. It's a very beautiful ceremony, which you've all been pissing on. For now, how long? I do this for the Mother, Father, Goddess, God of the universe, and for my own consciousness and awareness of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God of the universe. And I certainly do it for you, but since you do not do it for each other or for one another or for me or for the Goddess, God of the universe, you're not likely getting too much benefit from it. Until you participate as co-hostesses and young co-hostesses and co-hosts, you will not. Now, I also want to say something else. In terms of degrees of guilt, the most guilty right now, in my opinion, are American women, even a little bit more so than older men. The older men have thousands of years of the error, but American women had a lot of opportunities to label and learn about this error and band with one another and care about each other as adults would do if they're alert to a danger. Instead, a lot of American women avoided each other. Now, this is because they are surrounded by hegemonist men, but there's another factor here. There is a very self and other destructive process among many American women, which is an unhealed mother wound and Electra complex, which promotes this error instead of trying to turn it around. That is a profoundly dangerous stance now, and it's very common in the United States culture. The problem here, the ultimate boogeyman, is not any individual. It's the culture itself. But individuals who have taken the wrong road very hard and held on to it for a very long time, in face of better alternatives, which they have rejected without reason why, clearly are wanting to have a battle with the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. And you will. You will have a battle with the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. We all will, until you heed the New Millennial Golden Rule and act upon it to gather together in circles and share it and say parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future to everyone that you know. So I can only warn you, I expect disasters this weekend and this week until I can do a few things that might mitigate them slightly, but I'll expect them anyway until you start until you start communicating with each other, saying parity, not patriarchy, and coming to the broadcast or making calls to me so we can either make a three-way call to me or call me for the purpose of a three-way call, which I will do for you. The safest thing is for you to do a three-way call, because a call that would be without that, and then if you might lose your courage, would have a very regressive impact and could wind up harming you. So you better make the three-way call to me. I've primed your pump enough. Call me with another woman. Call me with a woman. Call me with a woman. And I want to say it to our young men. By allowing you particularly to be so immersed in a way over time patriarchal environment, your mothers have inadvertently, perhaps in some cases, seduced you to think that patriarchy is acceptable. And they have likely made their daughters and other young women that you know in your community, family community, very, very upset, whether overtly or under the surface. The mother's lack of caring for their own gender here, the mother's generations, is communicating a devastating message both to each other, the women of their own peer group, and especially to younger women. So I'm going to say to the younger men, I want you to go out of your way to put the younger women that you know slightly first, even before yourselves in an egalitarian approach. Put the younger women first. We all need now to put the younger women first. All of the mothers need to put the younger women first. All of the young women, because if you ladies can't care about each other, you're doing even worse devastation to your daughters and their generation. You have to have some generational responsibility here. Okay, now, I have already shamed a bunch of these old men that are part of our family community. You all know that. I've done them as best as I could, but I have received very little in the way of support for it from any of the women who know them. Therefore, those women are now at risk. And I have a few more tasks to do in this regard, and I hope Goddess God will give me the time this week to do them. But I appeal to many of you consciously and overtly to deal with the older men in your midst and call them upon their gender hegemony. As you know, I read the article I wrote about the nonsensical support for a male political so-called progressive candidate. I thought that was a real sign of how profoundly codependent American women are and pretending to be progressive. American progressives are genderist to the point that you almost have to say it's almost similar to the Ku Klux Klan with racism. The American culture has become the most yang and female unfriendly culture on the face of the earth. What do you think Mother Nature is going to do? And you have to remember, the Father of the universe is not a sexist. What do you think they're going to do? Watch out and know that you call me 24/7. And understand, if you have a difficult moment, that all you have to do to pull yourself out of it is say, parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future. Call me and we'll gather in the circles and co-anoint you as Co-Secretary General, Co-Secretary Equinox Tricus of the New Millennial Golden Rule. Okay, let's do our ceremony. Here's the marvelous, miraculous Statue of Liberty, and here's the Here's the goddess Estrella, and here's the collective group of statues of liberties, and here's the new millennial golden rule, and here is the marvelous, miraculous virtuous gathering place. And I'll be right back. I have to get something that I see I forgot for this ceremony, a couple of things. I'll be right back. And let's hear our marvelous, miraculous recording.
And then she said she couldn't do the name for everybody. Did you tell she was that? That's when she came back and started to spell again with the blood center. Her mama was to have her children there. She did. The Curtis told him just to get along, have enough to eat. She was careful, very careful. And there was a sister, Carla.
All right, and let's say the light is on in all our hearts. Fix this a little bit. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll say it again. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll say Namaste, Mitakuya Yoyasin, Mitakuya Koseveral, Kongsum Pax, Pax Culture, to your best, Celeric, to your best, Chinque, Chop Chop, Sayonara, Dasvidanya. Let's go back and say to your best, Celeric, to your best, Bahava, L'chaim, Shalom, Salam, Sol, Salam, Shalom, Mir Pache, Mir, Merci. Buenos dias, Ubuntu, Schwanzwag, Dasvidanya, I said it already, and ciao, Schwanzwanja, and let's say ciao, Dasvidanya, and ciao, and Schwanzwag, and Dasvidanya, and I said Chinque, Chap, Sayonara, and cheerio, and good day, cheerio, and if I forgot any languages, you include them. And let's say, let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both, in each and every one, as of the Milky Way's solar, marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, equinox Qs. And let's say it again. Let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both, in each and every one, as solar, budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous of the Milky Way's co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, equinox Qs. And let's drink the milk of human kindness that will celebrate on behalf of all, both, in each and every one, representing all, both, in each and every one, starting with our own family, past, present, future, all our holy baby girls and our holy baby boys, past, present, future, with 2 to 3 years on cue breastfeeding. And there are those of you who have not healed your wounds from that, and now, frankly, because you're ignoring the importance of it and not connecting with one another to deal with it, You're putting yourself in a lot of danger and each other in a lot of danger and your children in a lot of danger. So I can only say I'm right here for you. I can be wherever you are. We can get together very quickly. We get together in many places in between where we all live. It's very easy for us to get together. It is only your emotional resistance that is making this difficult, okay? So let's know that, and we'll celebrate the milk of human kindness throughout our lives as Equinox Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Severas of the Milky Ways, marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming, solar powers. Let's drink on behalf of all, both and each and everyone, representing all, both and each and other. Everyone. Now, and as soon as possible, I drank. Very delicious. And that's now on behalf of all, both and each and everyone, as soon as possible. And now we have our elixir of Earthsz and Earthsz, elixirs of Earthsz and Earthsz, and of Purim and Passover, and not the Last Supper, but let's make them of all of our me-alls, me and all, having parity, past, present, future, as Equinox Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Severas, and our Soma, Vedic Soma, and our Entheons of Elysian Mysteries, our cocoa, our chocolate, not all of our sacramental liquids, but none of them more than the milk. Okay, and we drink now on behalf of all, both, and each and everyone, representing all, both, and each and everyone as soon as possible. As Equinox Qs, Co-Severas, Co-Secretary General, Co-Severas, it's budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, ever growing, ever gardening, solar lights of Milky Ways, Co-Secretary General, Co-Severas. And we have our water of loving, living planets that will reclaim and sustain our planet Earth and all our Earth to be, as Equinox Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Severas. And let's make sure that you don't take this for granted. We have our solar orbs here, and we are photosynthesis ourselves. We are the rainbow light. We are the light. So let's make the light of balance of the new millennium golden rule. I drink on behalf of all, both, and each and everyone, representing all, both, and each and everyone now as soon as possible. And delicious. Don't take that for granted. Now we have our cakes. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, past, present, future, as Equinox Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Severas, of the budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, Milky Ways of solar powers, as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Severas, Equinox Qs, starting with our Shekinahs and our young Shekinahs and Shekinahs around age 37 and younger, past, present, future, as Equinox Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Severas. And then we'll do this again. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as Equinox Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Severas, marvelous, miraculous of Milky Ways, solar, budding and blooming, and marvelous, miraculous Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Severas. Okay, and then we have our Purim cookie, our Passover wafer. It's round. We deliver parity to one another. We have our Passover wafer to remind us that patriarchy causes everyone to rush. I'm rushing right now to get these emails to you on time and so forth. This goes on and on because you're not doing your part to transform patriarchy to parity. Pretty soon, I'm slowing down, so you're going to miss things at the usual time, and the relational aspect of time is important. You're going to start missing them, and you're going to start having problems that show up simultaneously because you're not doing your relational part of making the circle. And that's going to happen. And we may lose some of the women that we wanted to most help in this story. I will take on their identities until we can reach them in the Stargate. And they are going to go down, though. They will not go into a risen state because of what they have not been doing. I can tell you that. So I may be able to bring some of you up out of the worst incarnation. Let's see if we can do that. According to the film, there is a way out of, quote, hell. I believe there is, and we can bring heaven out of hell, but you have to know the reason for it. It's patriarch instead of parity. Past, present, future. So let's go from our promises of holidays to fulfillment as with our round bred risen and our oval bred risen of our risen round females, our risen oval males, and that's our symbols there. And we, of course, have our oats and our rice, and you know what that's for, to symbolize Mother Nature and all our various places around this planet and all our planets. And we have our eggs of egalitarian culture. Okay, we have our eggs of egalitarian culture. Start with 1. I call the circle. I see the circle. I know the circle is always there. That's the universe. And then we have 2, like Lee and I, or you and I, and any one of you can start with me. We'll call. We've had Anne-Marie do just you and I, me and I. Then we have 3, Anne-Marie, Patricia, and I, Sylvia and Rasha and I. You can all do 3s, and let's start with 3 and get to you know, add up to 7, 11 women, co-anoint one another's co-secretary general's co-secretaries, then bring to us 5 young women and 5 young men, aged 37 and younger, approximately their rounds, and co-anoint one another. And then we have the beginning of Atlantis risen, all holy lands risen, equinox Q's, co-secretary general's co-secretaries. That improves the relationships of women, that improves the relationships of women and men, that improves the relationships in marriage, that improves the relationships between women and men, and then we that improves the relationships between men, and that it reminds you that each person has the ability to say parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future, and make the circle wherever there are, and not worry about anything else that's going on, because everything else that's going on in this culture is just deception and lie. Okay, don't deal with it. Just say the truth, and then deal with whatever is going on, but don't leave that piece of that truth out, or you'll be in big trouble. You have our consciousness currencies. These are on the website, 5050now.wordpress.com, and under the section among the representatives, you, and you. And we have our Adelian, Morellian, Yanser Slatian, all the native names. We have Margolian, Silver Golden Kindian, Zalkindian, Feldmarian, Hearst and Herzogian, Sweet and Sagan, Lee Winfrey, Kapadia Gandhi, let's go back and say Kapadia Gandhi, Lee Winfrey, and Brandon Stakel, Fitzgerald, blah, 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 all that, and Howell and Cassidy and all there, and all the different ones. Okay, and then we also have Goldberg and Goldenberg, Kabbalah, Milarian, Newcomerian, all the different neighbors' names and so forth, and Goldenberg, and said already. And this, we start with the women in the Akashic record, then we have our current generations of women, and then we have our young females and males, our young Shekinahs and young Kikinas around age 37 and younger. You're all given trillions and zillions of dollars in value, but if you're not paying attention to what you're doing in the world right now, the world may go, and you won't have any value except as DNA floating off into the universe somewhere on a piece of rock that was blown up in an explosion that you could have avoided, but it happened because you didn't practice parity instead of patriarchy. Okay, so wake up, and let's give you all the big kisses. All right, and then we have our big branching family tree, and of course we thank Sarah Harriet Ray and Sarah Harriet for bringing us together here in our virtual marvelous place. And we have our various people that we want to name: Myrtle, Martha, Rose, and Pearl, and we have Estrella and Libertia. We have Hannah and Estrella and Libertia. We have, of course, I said already, Harriet and Ray and Harriet, Grandpapa, Grandma Ray, Grandma Margulies, Ray and Clara, Harriet and Jacqueline. Jacqueline is on the border, and maybe we may lose her. She's been doing the wrong things. Her family is doing entirely the wrong things. I don't know how to pull her out of it. The family is stuck. My sister, who is interacting with them, is stuck, and Jacqueline may go. Okay, we may lose her. But then I'll have to be Jacqueline. I'm going to start throwing the names of older women's names into my middle name, because the older women in this society are totally oblivious, because the middle-aged women are not cueing them at all on what they need to know. And they don't seem to know what they need to know, even though I keep telling them. So I have no idea what's really going on here. And let's go back up here, and we have Precious Antoinette, and Lee, and Adele, and Rose, and Lillian, and Lee and Thelma, and we have Bethan, and we have Giselle. Did I say we have Kasturba and Radha, and many, many more there. We have, and I said the Native American women's names, and we have Hattie Mae, Gogi, and Lily Gay. We have Rose and Eunice, and we have Ione. We have Rose and Eunice, and we have Jacqueline, another Jacqueline there. We have another Dorothy, and Virginia, and many, many, many more. We have many, many, many more on all these branches, and they're all interacting and all important to us. Then I say, as Precious Antoinette, Risen Rose, Grandma Marie, Grandma Papa, Grandma Dorothy, Lynn, and Rachel as well. Okay. Then we have our current generations of women. We have Marion and Victoria and Mariama, Julia, Marie, and I. And oh, up here we have, excuse me, Malka and Shirley. Malka and Shirley, very important too, extremely important. And we have Julia and Maria. Now, you've all thrown away everything I've said to you, and you're out of time. So you're going to have curses. What can I say? I've run out of time on you. The time is out. We're at Labor Day. This is all about valuing the labors of people. You're out of time. I'm out of time. You're going to have curses. I hope the curses are titrated so that you can learn from them, okay? And then we have, so we have, I said Julia, Marie, and I. We have Barbara. We have Alexandra, Rachel, Juliana, Francesca. We have remembering Bethan. We have Susan, Sarah, Laura, and Jardine. We have remembering Lee and Thelma and Lillian. We have Bacha, Helene, Sherry, Arlene, and we also remembering Pearl and Ruby. We have Sally and Deborah and Paula, and many, many more there. And then we also have remembering Precious Rose, and Risen Rose, and Grandma Marie. We have Denise and Marcia, and we have all the Solomon kind, remembering another Hannah. Solomon becomes Zalkind again, and put them together. We include their Linda and Robin and Gila, and many, many more. We have and Ray also, and we also have well, these are all the women who could have gathered for the past, how many years is it now? 55? And you've never gathered once? You see why you're having a little problem? Okay, and then we have all our I said it's all Kenya family, our Feldmarian family. Remembering Giselle, we have Andrea, Merle, Cheryl, Meredith, and Susan, and many, many more there. And we have, of course, Anna Marie, Patricia, Singing Cricket, Sunflowers, Martha, Laura, and Martha, Laura, Pauline, and Sophie. And we have remembering Hattie Mae. We have Bernita and Patricia and Oprah and Alicia and Krishnandra, and we have Kathleen and Carrie and Caroline and Maria, and many more there. And we have Marjorie and Hillary. Okay, then we have our current generations of young people that are so important. We have Hadass, Rachel Marie, Daniel, Juliette, Stacy, Anastasi, Soma, Vanessa, Salia, with Julia, Raquel, Julia, and Lynn and Sharon, Hesper, Athena, Rebecca and Sandra, Elisa, first Elisa and Hillel and Ashira, Elisa and Natalie, Rebecca and Sandra, and I neglected to mention here in this upper level here, Mary and Carrie, and Donna and Diana. Okay, then we also have Abby and Sarah, and there's many, many more. We have Aquarius, and we have, of course, Angeline, April. Let me say first, Angeline, April, Rosa, and Edith, and Aquarius. And so then we also have our young men, equally important, Ben, Shannon, John, Yeshai, Harlan, Viz, Wesley, Ross, Marcel, Itani, Eric, Jared, and many, many more. And then when we've all co-anointed each other as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary Equinox QQs, then the older women will come back through the stargates. But right now they're tipping toward evil because they're going, some of these women are dying off without recognizing how dangerous patriarchy is, and they're not communicating it to their families, and they're leaving them with the wrong impression when they leave this earth. That's very dangerous because then the children, that's very dangerous when they, I think we had a little gap in the tape there, but I did the entire ceremony. You heard all the names. I hope you heard them all. I did it just now. And so there's a little trouble with my phone here, and it turned off for a moment, but I did all of the names that you're always used to hearing. After we've done that, then we also bring forth the older men. And more. Okay, and so let's give you all the big kisses. All right, and then let's do our Winston group here. Let's have Winstons instead of Lustons. And here we have you. So we have Victoria and Mariama, Julia and Marianai, and we have Vanessa and Salia. Vanessa, Salia, and Hans of Wesley. We have Georgine here. We have all the other neighbors all around that we, of the various branches of all the people all around. And then all of you connecting with them from all over the place. That's so important. So let's give this group of big kisses, hugs and kisses. And then we go back to our big family tree, the big, huge family tree, and say this again. Okay, and then we have our clarity bowl for parity. The fruit, we are the fruit, we are the rainbow. Let's start fresh. We'll pick Parity Paradise on this and all our planets and say we've had enough of patriarchy. We're going from purgatory into horror and extinction right now because we're continuing patriarchy long past any rational reason to do so. And so let's say instead of that, let's pick Parity Paradise on this and all our planets as Equinox QQs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries of Atlantis and all holy lands risen on this and all our planets, past, present, future as Equinox QQs. Solar, Milky Ways, solar, budding and blooming, marvelous miraculous, budding, blooming, solar, Milky Ways, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, Equinox QQs. And then let's say again, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, past, present, future, as Equinox QQs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. Let's say it again. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries of Atlantis risen, all holy lands risen, new millennial golden rule, co-federation of planets of earth and all our planets of the universe. Past, present, future. All right, and that's our ceremony. Let's send this message and
You saved this message. Your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension